So, uh, what is his name anyway now? Magic Frank. Um, tells me that if a black person talks about my people, I wouldn't object because I'm an anti-white racist and I'm sickening. And I thought about it and I thought for a second it has the ring of truth. If a black man talks about my people, I can kind of understand where he might be coming from. He's talking about black people, and my people are people that have been through hell in America from that perspective. But at the same time, I'm not against my people with white people. I'm against my people in general. And so I don't think it's anti-white racism to say, why can't we care about each other as a species instead of as a race? Why, when you say my people, do we have to think about races? And that's what Magic Frank does, and he's unapologetic, and he says he's been forced into that position, and he can never be convinced to care for anyone that's not his people, and by that he means white. And if you disagree with that, then you're an anti-white racist. And like I said before, I think of it as one species. And I don't see what's hard about that. I don't see why anyone would argue with thinking of it as my people being the human beings on Earth. I honestly don't get why we have to be racist. And if a black person says my people, from now on in the future, I will make sure to say, what are you talking about, my people? Do you mean all the people on Earth? But it's a throwaway comment to him because it doesn't matter what I say. He'll never be convinced. He feels like he's embattled and he's been through the experience of living with black people, and it was so difficult for him. And he just never wants to consider them as part of his group again, ever. And so, what does he do? Does he say, okay, I don't like black people. It's time for me to attend to other things. I do care about chemistry, geometry, what European history, American history, Australian history, Russian history. Why then do you keep posting videos of black people? I view the videos he posts as attacks on black people. Why? Psychologically, you have a neuron for black people, and you have a neuron that activates every time you see a person and you profile them as black. You just do. We all just do. There's no way around it. Now, I'm not a neuroscientist, so I'm not going to start talking to you about neural circuits. I'm just going to say that's a thing. That's not a ridiculous claim to make psychologically and neuroscientifically. That we do have neurons that do go off when we look at somebody that is black and we think of them as a black person. Now, when you access that neuron, the next level of my claim is that every time you access that neuron, it matters what's happening in the surroundings. So if you access that neuron in a dismissive or disrespectful way over and over and over and over again, that will shape your view of all black people because the context comes into this. So when I talk about his videos ridiculing black people as attacks, he says, why do you think all black people are like that? You're the racist. And I never said all black people are like that. I'm just saying am I coming out of left field here? There's a history of propaganda against black people because of slavery and Jim Crow in the United States. And so that propaganda is widely understood to be an attack against black people. And so he posts nonfiction videos. He posts these videos that are of real people. So he could say, look, I didn't make that, but his icon gives it away because it's obviously a bunch of tropes of black people. It's got wild hair and ridiculous lips and all the things that you need for a racist caricature of a race. Even if you're just making fun of individual people, you're moving in on that neuron. And each time you move in, if you move in with all that other crap, then you send me to my pile of Jenkum in retreat. I don't want you around anymore. All I want to huff is my own poop when I'm talking to you. That's how I feel about that kind of like, no, I'm not racist and you are racist attitude from people that seem clearly to have a racial problem with black people, even to the point where they would admit such a thing. Yes, I have a racial problem with black people, but that's okay because I'm white and I'm allowed to be for white people and white people alone. I guess so, but then why are you talking about black people over and over and over again? Like, if you're just going to live your best life and that happens to be in white environments, okay, live where you want to live. Do what you want to do. But it just seems weird that you get online and you have everything available to you. You could be posting videos of Swedish people speaking Swedish and eating chocolates. I'm sure you could. Or Swiss people playing with rifles. I'm certain you could find those videos out there. So why do you do it? It's not about white people being proud of white people, or else it wouldn't be centered around black people. Anyway, that's just my thinking on it, and maybe I'm wrong, but it causes me discomfort. And it's unfortunate also because he says he loves me, and he's been like, like I don't have many fans on YouTube. I've been a failure on YouTube. I've been a disgrace, a waste of time, and a loss of subscribers. And I try and get into scenarios where I'm just around my fans. But I've also publicly in YouTube invested a great deal in N-word and blackface because I think they can be done respectfully. And they can even be used to make legitimate points. But I don't think the points that Catboy Kami or Magic Frank are making are legitimate ones. And they can argue again and again, it's just specific black people. And then they could say, well, what's wrong with you? Your neuron isn't differentiating the black people. But when you go to the worst of a group over and over again, it has an impact. It just does. It just is an attack. It just freaking is. I mean, I don't see how that's even controversial. I don't think that I'm the wild one here.